Huge fucking Steeler win today, baby. Huge. Huge win. Obviously, we know Matt Canada was the problem because his offense looked a lot better. A lot better than what it was in the past few weeks. Obviously, Najee having a decent game is huge. That being one. Fryermuth being incorporated back into the offense is what's been missing. Obviously, we needed that. You know, I mean, 7-4 now. All we need now is to just keep winning one game at a time. Obviously, Cincinnati at this point is probably just going to shit the bed because at quarterback, I mean, Browning's not bad. He's not the guy that's going to fucking break off like 3, 4, 5 wins in a row for you. Cleveland, we need Denver. Dave, I need your Broncos to beat the trash out of those fucking shit-stained elves. That's what I need, most importantly. I need that more than anything today. I need the Eagles to win. Obviously, God, just what a win. It was one of those games where the agita was there at the beginning, and then towards the end, it was like, I got faith. I got faith in this team. They're gonna pull it out. They pulled it out. It just is what it is. I keep getting asked, how I felt about the Canada firing. I think it should have been done a lot sooner. I really don't care about the win streak they went on to preserve Mike Tomlin's never having a losing season. I think he should have been gone last year. I think a lot of decisions they made, towards the bye week, they should have done earlier, like starting Broderick Jones over Chuck Okafor, whatever the fuck you want, however you say it, really don't care. I think, honestly, they should have started Porter Jr. sooner. I think they should have trusted Kenny a lot more. Kenny should have been given full autonomy, honestly, to be able to audible calls at the line. Let him play that Ben Roethlisberger style football. Let him do it because, you just got to let him do it. James Cook, you got to catch that. You're going to fuck my parlay up, and I'm going to be pissed. My God. But, yeah, it's just one of those... listen, it would have been better if we had beaten the Browns last week, but I think, honestly, what led to the departure of Canada is part of the inept offense, not being able to get over 400 yards consistently on total offense, Kenny Pickett being anemic at the line, defenses knowing what we're going to run, whatever it is, plus the fight that broke out between Deontay and Minkah Fitzpatrick in the locker room where Cam Hayward and TJ had to get involved. That factors into it a lot. And it's just, hey. But you want to know what, though? We're 7-4. We control our own fate. The Texan-Jaguar game, oh, my God. I mean, ETN pretty much fucked my parlay, but whatever. Garrett's Jags get the victory. You'll hear it on the recording that, yes, Denver's up 7-0. Yes, Denver. Fuck you, Cleveland. But that Houston Jaguar game was what I said it would be, and our recording, me and Garrett's recording this morning of Steel and Teal, which should be released tomorrow morning. I said it then and there. This was going to be a very close game. It wasn't going to be a slaughter. Jaguars fans out there, are out there right now. Listen, if you're choosing violence, choose it. Choose it. I know Garrett is. Garrett's on a fucking shit-talking streak right now. Garrett is fucking decimating everybody in his way. He's like Dominic Toretto at fucking Race Wars. He's just decimating everybody. But I said it would come down to a close game. It would be by a field goal, and that's pretty much... You almost got the game tied with a field goal, but Jacksonville wins it by a field goal. That's what I said it would be. That's what happened. No, the NFL does not send me the script. They don't send me the script because if they did, I would have predicted 16-10 Steelers. But Charlie Batch predicted that. Charlie Batch hit that one right on the head. Maybe they sent Charlie Batch the script. I don't fucking know. But, listen, bottom line is this. The Steelers are a playoff team right now. And you could say that I'm jumping the gun. It's one win. It's this. It's that. It's whatever, right? They're a playoff team. If they play like this, they got to take advantage of scoring opportunities. That one with Deontay in the end zone is probably the only time I'll agree with Gene Steratore ever that should have been a touchdown. I said it then when the game was going on. Caught it, maintained possession, 1, 2, 3. He committed all the moves you had to make, and then it goes out of bounds, and he loses the ball there. Whatever it is, Steelers don't challenge it because we all know in the world of the NFL, when Mike Tomlin challenges something, whether it's right or wrong, Tomlin loses. It's just what it is. You want to know what Mike Tomlin's biggest villain is of all time? It's NFL challenges. But it's a great Sunday. I mean, you got Giants fans out there right now complaining about winning a game. Listen, you might have something in this Jersey Juice Kid and Chicken Cutlets DeVito over there. I mean, you never know. You never know. I understand you want the top 5 pick. You want to get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's when, listen, if you fall out of the top 5 as far as draft picks, you can trade up. You may have to trade a second, a third, and maybe throw in Tyrod Taylor in the mix or something, or throw in Isaiah Hodgins if it's going to land you Marvin Harrison Jr. And speaking of, I don't understand this. Michigan cheats and they get to play in they get to play in the playoff game. Ohio State doesn't cheat, and granted they lose, and they're eliminated from the college playoff. I don't know. Make that make sense to me, because I never seen where a team in college cheats, gets caught, it's on record, there's more evidence than ever, and yet you're sitting there and you're giving Michigan a college playoff berth, when there's countless other teams in the NCAA that are well more deserving of that playoff spot than Michigan. But hey, what the fuck do I know, right? It's just one of those. I really don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But I get to celebrate Victory Monday, even though I got to go to work tomorrow. It's Victory Monday, and we got to play Arizona next, and then we got to play Cleveland again at some point. We play Arizona. With Kyler Murray being back, it's still not going to be an easy task, I'll be honest. Like I said before, there's a lot of work this offense still has to get right, even with Faulkner as the interim OC and Mike Sullivan pretty much calling the plays. There's a lot of things they still got to get right to get it clicking on all cylinders. A lot of people out there saying that TJ Watt's a dirty player for that late hit on Browning. Listen, man. I've seen a lot worse than that. And for people to come out there and say that TJ's a dirty player when your defensive end was out there chasing our fucking backup who was starting, and you were chasing him with a helmet. Yeah, which one? And you actually hit him with the helmet, mind you. And you're saying that TJ's dirty? Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense, all right? Nobody wants to do I was doing the Tommy DeVito before Tommy DeVito, okay? Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. I don't want to hear that shit. I also heard a lot of complaining in the Jaguar-Texan game about officiating. I don't know because I wasn't watching it, so I can't tell you whether it was good or bad. But it's NFL officiating, so I'm sure it was fucking garbage and bullshit calls because it is what it is. Now, this Eagle-Bill game is going to tell you a lot in this game, though. Can the Bills go on a streak to make it into the playoffs in a wild card, or are the Eagles just going to, from this point on, just, become the number 1 seed in the NFC and get that bye week? Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see, but, it's it's just one of those. Oh, let's see what this update is. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's sad when we beat the Rams, but the Cardinals can't beat the Rams. That's insane. Oh God. But going back to the Bills, the Bills in the situation they're in, they played themselves out of a playoff spot. they played themselves out of being in contention for anything right now. You fire the offensive coordinator. Listen, it's the easiest thing to do to fire a coordinator, get rid of a coach, whatever it is. But that's just to deflect the fact that Josh Allen does have turnover issues and that nobody in Buffalo wants to admit to it. And you got to realize he's had them since he's come into the league. And, it is what it is. It's not taking his talent away from him. But Josh Allen's got a problem with turnovers. And, a lot of that's when you're trying to force it to your number one receiver. And sometimes your number one receiver's got to realize, hey, if I'm being double covered, you got to go to sometimes hands Gabe Davis. Go to friggin' Kincaid. There's a reason why you drafted Kincaid, because you're going to move away from Dawson Knox at some point. And that's really what it comes down to. Let's see what Jalen Hurts does here. You're better off just give yourself up.
Goes down as a sack as Linval Joseph chased him out. Let's go to Tracy.
Well, Tony, you just mentioned it. Jalen Hurts playing through a bad contusion on his left knee. He told me he heard it week 6 versus the Jets, and I was told it is not structural, and he has not missed a snap at practice or in a game.
I'll give Jalen Hurts credit for that.
A little bit of rest, but
playing hurt on that bad kney. You couldn't even tell it was hurt by the way he's kind of running out there. But I'm loving this right now. Cleveland's defense, which is what, ranked 1 or 2 in the whole NFL, and you're losing 7-0 to the Browns. I get it's early, but this would have happened with Watson too, so I really don't want to hear any nonsense about it. I really don't. I mean, this Dorian Thomas, whatever the fuck his name is, I mean, he proved he can hang a bit in the NFL, but all this, and it's the same thing with Browning too. When you're doing these little short passes, teams are going to give you the short pass. They're going to give you that little 4 or 5 yard gain. They're going to give it to you every time. You saw at the end of the Steeler-Bengal game towards the end, the Steelers were just shutting everything down. They were just shutting it all down, and that's what you have to do. It's just, it is what it is, but it was nice to see Najee almost crack 100 yards. Najee was running. Najee had one run that brought me back to his Alabama days where he couldn't be stopped. Warren was a bit non-existent in this game, but that's to be expected when you get Najee cooking. When you get Najee cooking, you're not gonna have to rely on Warren as much, but down the stretch, they are both going to get utilized a lot more than what you think. But it is what it is on that front. And they're going to make it challenging today. Also too, for those who watch the Wednesday night edition of Cigar and Sports, me and E-Man appreciate you. We put on yet another banger of an episode. We should be doing another one in about a week or 2. Because I always get asked, I always get messages about how everybody thinks the show is great. It's a great concept that we came up with. We both like cigars. We both like to talk sports, and I just messaged them and said, hey, listen. I'm thinking about this concept. If you want to run with it, let's run with it. If you don't, you don't. And we did one episode, and it hit, and the people like it. And it's funny because people want to bash my opinions on my own show, but when I'm on with somebody else, I don't seem to get those messages. So I really don't get it with people. But listen. It is what it is. I wouldn't have run the ball there. I would have did a little check down. Jalen Hurts looking for a flag for what, I don't know. I think this game is gonna, with the weather, I think this game is gonna get real ugly. I don't think you're gonna see that big play down the field unless it stops raining and it dries up a bit. And right now, if Buffalo loses this game, you're better off just. If you're a Bills fan, I really don't know what you do in the offseason. But, yep, that's offsides on Buffalo. My God.
He was in on that play, too.
That offside just sums up this whole Bill season. Jacked up and fucked up. My God. And of course, I don't pick Atlanta and they win, and Garrett gets that one. My God. Yep. Oh, it was. It definitely was a good run, a good win. Yeah, you have fun at Mass, E-Man. If I went to church, the holy water would fucking bubble. But,
No, never did. I mean,
my God, yeah, no.
We'll make the most of the
But-
5 yards.
My God. And then they had the New England, you had the Giant Jet game. Not Giant Jet, the Giant New England game. And a lot of people are saying that Belichick should just walk away. You do realize Belichick's only going to walk away when Belichick wants to walk away, right? I mean, he's chasing something that nobody else will ever reach in the NFL. I mean, maybe Andy Reid if he coaches another few years. Belichick wants the ultimate record. He wants the all-time wins record, and that's that. I got asked what I felt about Brady's comments. I really kind of don't agree with his comments because he's talking about mediocrity, and yet he left New England to go play a mediocrity. He pretty much got a free ticket to the playoffs and a free ticket to the Super Bowl. Thank you, Russell Wilson. Cleveland's up 14-0. Thank you, Dave's Broncos. Thank you, Dave's Broncos. My God, thank you. Thank you. If you're a Browns fan who watches right now, you should be disappointed in your fucking team. Because I'm not. I'm happy you guys are fucking losing. This would make for a great... This scenario would work out perfect for me. Bengals obviously lost because we beat them. I'm not going to say we handed them their ass because they stayed in it. I'm not going to lie. We should have literally blew them out, but we didn't. It is what it is.
They're a little more than a yard away.
If the Browns lose and then the Ravens lose, that would be the ultimate scenario for me. But we know the Ravens are going to beat the Chargers because that's just what they do. And it just is what it is on that front. But, look at it. How do you not stop that? My God. And then even when you look at like the Jet situation, like all this Rodgers is aiming to come back in December. I don't know why you plan on doing it. It's one thing if they're like a game out of the wild card and you need Rodgers to get you over that hump to get you there. But the fact that in that game, you literally stuck with Tim Boyle the whole game when you should have just went to Trevor Siemian at that point. It is beyond me. Really fucking beyond me. But I'm telling you right now, there's no reason at all, no reason for Aaron Rodgers to come back. Not this year. None at all. And I agree with the assessment on this if you're a Jets fan who follows, listens, whatever it is. Robert Saleh is playing the hands he's dealt. And the cards he's dealt is by the GM via draft picks, free agency, whatever it is. There's only so much Robert Saleh can do. So for you to sit there, if you're a Jets fan and you're blaming Saleh for everything and you don't realize that Joe Douglas is kind of part of the problem, you don't know ball and you should stop watching it. That's that. It's just one of those, you got to put the blame on the GM. I mean, you could sit there, you could blame Hackett all you want, but Hackett's dealt the same hand as Robert Saleh because everybody went into the season thinking Aaron Rodgers was going to be healthy and the Jets were going to friggin' run through everybody, which we know wasn't going to happen. But you can't blame Hackett. It's the same thing, and it's not to defend Canada, but you kind of have to in this regard. Your offensive coordinator can call the perfect play, but if your general on the field, the quarterback, can't execute, who does that fall on? Because again, in Buffalo, Ken Dorsey doesn't make Josh Allen throw interceptions, and with the Jets, Nathaniel Hackett doesn't make Zach Wilson, not move the ball more than negative 2 yards on a drive. You know, yeah, I'm going back to last season. I really don't care. It's just one of those. You know, again, if you're a Jet fan, you know, the blame could go around. Everybody's got a shoulder to blame at some point, even the players. You know, people are bashing Garrett Wilson because he doesn't know what to tell you guys anymore. After a while, how many more excuses can you run with before you just run out? So I don't blame Garrett Wilson at all for sitting there and saying, I don't know what to tell the fans anymore. And it shouldn't be only Garrett Wilson who has to say anything. You know, it should be Zach Wilson out there saying something. It should be, you know, Breece Hall's been vocal. It should be, Lazar out there saying something. TJ Conklin. You know, Robert Saleh should be at the forefront. Even if Robert Saleh is going to sit there and take the bullet, then take the fucking bullet. Joe Douglas should come out there and say, I failed my coach, I failed this franchise. You know, anything, something, shit. You know, Mike Tomlin came out, Mike Tomlin came out and he said he made the decision to fire Matt Canada. You know, people say the Rooneys made him do it. I honestly think Mike Tomlin had no choice. He was backed into a corner with no way out, and his only way out was Matt Canada had to be the scapegoat, and Matt Canada was part of the problem. I mean, when you lose the locker room and you're the head coach, you got to do something to prove you still got that locker room. Even if it's by a hair, you still got to prove you have that locker room and that you have these guys' backs. And Mike Tomlin did that. He did that by getting rid of what he needed to get rid of. It was the same thing when Antonio Brown was here and he was creating all the drama there. You know, as great as AB was, he was a problem and a cancer in the locker room. And Tomlin and company said, hey, we got to move on from this. You know, even if you take a hit offensively, you know, it is what it is. You know, let's just be real about it. But I figured I'd pop on live real quick. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my Big Time Tommy cigar that I got left. Finish watching the rest of these games. Get ready for the Sunday night game. Make sure to... tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. as usual, will be the release of Steel and Teal, barring any setback as far as editing with Garrett. And then Tuesday, I'll be putting out a new episode pretty much recapping all of this week. And amongst other things, I'm sure I'll discuss. So to everybody, obviously, who follows, listens, watches, supports, a huge thank you to you guys. You all know who you are. To all the new supporters out there in this new group I'm in on Twitter, huge thank you to you as well for retweeting and everything else. So with that being said, everybody enjoy the rest of your NFL Sunday. Steeler fans out there, enjoy Victory Monday, because you know I'm already enjoying it. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.